Let's just compare the democracies of the Ukraine versus the great Democratic Republic of Russia. So you have Russia. They've been around forever, right? So you'd think they've probably had elected president probably back in the 1500s or something, right? Russia, yeah, they've been electing their presidents, surely after 1776, after America did their. No, it took them till 1991. Boris Yeltsin is the first president that Russia has ever elected. The first time they ever elected anybody. And then it went to Putin for some reason for like a day. No, for 8 years. Oh, we gave it to Putin for 8 years. That's incredible. In 128 days? Oh, because he acted from. Okay, so That's right. Boris Yeltsin had resigned, pulled some Nixon shit, resigned, got Vladimir Putin, picked him to be president, and then Putin went ahead and forgave him, pardoned Boris Yeltsin, and then Putin had to win the election right then and there. So 2000 might have been a legitimate election. And then he's going to lose an election in 2008, which is absolutely fucking remarkable. He actually lost an election. So, but that was after he was in power after 8 years. So really, term limit says Vladimir fucking Putin, you sit the fuck down. Term limit says you sit the fuck down. And that was your 8 fucking years. Russia's got to go a different direction, but Putin says, I want to keep the power. And he took Russia back over in 2012, and he's kept it ever since. So this Dmitry Medvedev, I don't know if he's still alive or not, probably poisoned to death, no doubt, right? He's 56 years of age. Hopefully he's still around. But Dmitry Medvedev was president for 4 years. So there was a tiny interim of when Putin was not the president, but Putin was the prime minister. So essentially, that didn't, I don't know what the fuck that means. It means the president was window dressing and the prime minister had the fucking power. He controlled the government, but the president could give the speeches and, take the. What in the fuck? Okay, so anyways, Putin's been in power for 23 fucking years. Not a single one of these elections seemed legitimate to me. Maybe Boris Yeltsin's was legitimate. They at least said, hey, we're having an election. That seems to be the only. All right, so those are all the elections, right? 2012, and then 9 years. We just quit having elections. His term expires 2024, so apparently he gets a 12-year term now. We're doing 12-year terms. Does that mean in 2 years there is no more Putin? Right? I mean, it's a 12-year fucking term. Why do we have 12-year term? You don't think that's too much? 12-year fucking term isn't too much? Jesus Christ, a 12-year fucking term. We've said 8 years, 12 years, only if you're fighting World War II, motherfucker. You only get 4 extra years if you fucking kill the Nazis. And that's all you'll get. You better kill some more Nazis in the next 4 years or you ain't getting another 4 years out of us. Compared to the Ukraine in 1991, that's when the Ukraine, they began, doing democracy in 91 too. Leonid Kravchuk starts doing some democracy. Then Leonid Kuchma. So that's 1991, and then 91 again, and then 1994, then 2005, 2010, and then you have after 2010, 2014, then 2019. Look at this. Just a nice, just back and forth. They have basically, when it comes to Russia, you got what? Boris Yeltsin, which is Putin, and then you got Putin, who's Putin, Dmitry Medvedev, who is Putin, and then Putin. So you've had Putin ever since 91. Russia had their first election in 1991, and they've never, they never actually had an election. Basically, it's just been motherfucking Putin the whole time. So in Ukraine, there's actually a turnover of power. You had Leonid Kravchuk in 91. You had Leonid Kuchma in 94. You had Viktor Yushchenko in 2005. You had Viktor Yanukovych in 2010. You had Alexander Turchinov in 2014. Petro Poroshenko in 2014. And then Vladimir Zelensky 2019. So that Viktor Yanukovych, he's a big Russian fucking stooge pile of shit, right? So basically it just keeps going back and forth, right? Between pro-West, pro-Russia, pro-West, pro-Russia. This is a nice, democracy. This is a nice sort of a pendulum. There's actually a discussion, a conversation. The Ukrainians are picking their own people, their own leaders, their own presidents. They picked a comedian to be their fucking leader. And you know what? That motherfucker was a funny motherfucker. I mean, the thing about, a comedian and doing their shows, that show's got to make sense, right? There's a logic to the damn thing. And the list of former presidents, all 6 of the former Ukrainian presidents are still living as of March 19th, 2022. So, Yanukovych, Yushchenko, Leonid Kuchma, Leonid Kravchuk, Alexander Turchinov, and Petro Poroshenko. They all, you can ask them questions. They range from 88, 83, 68, 71, 57 to 56 years of age. So it looks to me like Ukraine has a democracy and Russia doesn't. So really, Ukraine needs to invade Russia to get them some democracy.